Hello, and welcome to the health education presentation on emergency preparedness. At the end of this presentation, you should be able to understand why it's important to be prepared for a potential emergency, identify what you'll need to prepare a plan in the event of an emergency, recognize the items to create your own preparedness kit, and you'll be familiar with a variety of helpful tips that I hope you'll never need to use. First, we need to discuss why it's so important not to wait until an emergency situation happens to determine how you're going to respond. When you have a thorough plan, it can take a lot of the guesswork out of an already stressful situation. You can't plan for everything, but you can plan for the basics and have a good idea how to move forward when you have little to no time to plan. Mother Nature has a wonderful way of being unpredictable. Tornadoes, earthquakes, severe storms, hurricanes, and severe winter weather can strike with very little warning. Due to the disaster, the luxuries we take for granted, like running water, gas, electricity, and telephones, may not work. So what do? Perhaps you're away from home and an emergency strikes. Who will get your children from daycare? How are you going to get home, and where is your spouse? Let's see how you respond here. Which one of these is not a step for preparedness? Assemble a kit? Know the warning signals for your area? Assume that you're not going to be in danger? Or make a family communication plan? Do not assume that you're not in danger. Be alert and respond appropriately, whether that's to vacate or possibly to shelter in place. Preparedness in 3 steps. Know your area and what's around you. One of the most common emergency threats in Pennsylvania is flooding. For someone who lives above the floodplain, not commuting to get to their job, nor sending kids off in a school bus, this might not be a threat for them. Step 1. Think of the possible threats that may be in your area. Here in Central PA, we have a few to consider. Perhaps if you're outside of Pennsylvania, you can think of a few more that may or may not be on the list here in front of you. Know where you can get trusted information. Again, during the emergency is not the time to research what or who to look to for accurate and updated details about the situation. If your cell phone is not usable, but you do have a radio, what station are you going to turn on? Step 2. Think of everything you would need in an emergency. What are the things you're able to take care of by yourself, but also what help might you need from others? Think of things like lifting heavy items. Perhaps you have a dog that's too old and too large to lift in the back of your car. Who can help you, or do you have a typical way of getting him into the car? What personal support network might be needed? Who could be there to help? A spouse, a sibling, children, neighbors, relatives, friends? And then what items would you need during a disaster? And we'll get into this in more detail in a moment. If you have special needs or know someone close to you who has special or different needs, here are some questions to think about. What is needed in order to have quality of life? Things like oxygen, insulin, glucose meter. Do you rely on public transportation like the bus, train, or a taxi? Are you on dialysis, chemotherapy, radiation therapy? And what about medications such as antibiotics or insulin? Think about your needs for cooking, bathing, cleaning, and the bathroom. What other items do you or a family member require, such as a chairlift, stair lift, a monitoring system, a walking aid like a cane, walker, or wheelchair? And if you have a service animal, you have to consider the items that he or she requires as well. Keep the plan in both electronic and paper versions. Make sure every member of the family has a contact card so that the same information is given to everyone. Some great examples and templates for contact cards can be found at ready.gov. Things to include are the medications taken, some past medical history like heart disease, diabetes, food allergies or other allergies, your updated vaccination list including things like tetanus and hepatitis. And you should keep this card handy at all times. Choose someone out of town to be your emergency contact because they may be able to get a hold of separated family members faster than you can. Think if there is a lot of cell phone usage and the cell towers are blocked. Additionally, texting may be faster and easier than a phone call and may get through faster. Also consider subscribing to an emergency alert system so that you can get information quickly. Consider taking first aid and CPR classes. They're offered at a variety of national and local organizations, such as the American Red Cross, American Heart Association, local hospital and community groups, fire and EMS companies. Teach your children and other family members where the gas, electric, and water shutoffs are located. Show children where the flashlights and other emergency-related items are stored. Set 2 meeting places, one in your neighborhood and another one at a central location to where you all typically are on an average day, somewhere centrally to the home, work, or school. And determine escape routes from your home. What is the quickest way out of each room in your house? And practice it with your family. Repetition may be the key to getting your family comfortable with the plan. Step 3. Your basic needs are food, water, shelter, and oxygen. If you have these covered, that is half the battle. What do you have in your pantry right now? Canned soups, beans, vegetables, fruit? Great! You've got some of the food you need right there. And remember that each person in your family will need water to drink and water to wash. That should equal about 1 gallon per person per day. And certainly don't forget about your pets. They need food and water each day as well. You'll want to plan for 3 days food supply per person. Keep food in a dry, cool spot, dark if possible. Empty packages of things like dried fruits and nuts into screw-top jars or airtight containers for protection from pests. Discard canned goods that are swollen, dented, or corroded, and check for expiration dates and rotate out those old foods. Your first aid kit should have items like bandages and gauze, adhesive tape, antibacterial wipes, antibiotic ointment, rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, latex gloves, scissors, tweezers, cold packs, a thermometer, as well as aspirin and pain reliever, and maybe some medicines to induce vomiting in case you need it. Be sure to include copies of your medical insurance information, birth certificates, bank and credit card info, insurance policies. There are also some great electronic services like password vaults that can hold many of this information as well. This may seem like a lot. However, you'll want to consider keeping chargers, extra cash, blanket, paper maps, keys, and even a can opener in your kit. Now I'd like you to grab a pen and paper and jot down items that come to mind as you're thinking about them. And then think about the other people and pets in your house as you make your list. More tips and emergencies. Chemical emergencies. Most household chemicals are safe when used properly. Some chemicals, when combined, can be toxic, such as ammonia and bleach can create toxic gases. When using a new product, be sure to read the label. Some products should not be used in small, confined spaces to avoid inhaling dangerous vapors. Other products should not be used without gloves and eye protection to help prevent the chemical from touching your body. Any non-food products should be stored tightly closed in their original containers so you can always identify the contents of each container and how to properly use the product. Also, never smoke while using household chemicals. Don't use hairspray, cleaning solutions, paint products, or pesticides near an open flame or a pilot light. Although you may not be able to see or smell them, vapor particles in the air could catch fire or explode. Clean spills with rags while being careful to protect your eyes and skin. Install carbon monoxide alarms in central locations on every level of your home and outside of the bedrooms. Prepare and prevent a fire in the home. Keep items that can catch on fire at least 3 feet away from anything that gets hot, such as space heaters. Never smoke in bed. And talk to your children regularly about the dangers of fire, matches, and lighters, and keep them out of reach. Turn portable heaters off when you leave the room or go to sleep. And smoke alarms. Install smoke alarms on every level of your home, inside bedrooms and outside sleeping areas. Teach your children what smoke alarms sound like and what to do when they hear one. And routinely check and test your alarms and replace batteries at least once a year, and replace smoke alarms completely every 10 years. Make sure all household members know 2 ways to escape from every room in your home, and where to meet outside in case of a fire. Practice escaping from your home and meeting outside. Make sure everyone knows how to call 911 and how to stop, drop, and roll if their clothes should catch on fire. Family members should know how to use the fire extinguisher and where it's kept. Test and recharge fire extinguishers to manufacturer's instructions. Highway emergencies. A variety of unexpected situations could occur while you're out on the road, even for the shortest of trips. Let someone know where you're going to be before you leave. Be aware of any current situations on your route. Know the weather forecast. Don't allow your gas tank to ever get too low, and preferably not below half a tank. And when driving with pets, be sure to keep their needs in mind as well. Thunderstorms and tornadoes. Be aware of what your community warning system is and what it sounds like. They can be different for different communities. Know what's your safest room, like a basement, a storm cellar, or an interior room like a restroom or powder room on the lowest floor with no windows. Secure your lawn furniture, trash cans, plants, and other outside items that can be picked up by high winds and become a dangerous projectile. Some tornado danger signs to look for are dark, often greenish clouds, a wall cloud, large hail, funnel cloud, and roaring noise. Floods are one of the most common emergencies in Pennsylvania and many other regions too. Be sure to listen to area radio and television stations for flood warnings and reports of flooding in progress. Be prepared to evacuate quickly. When a flood or flash flood warning is issued for your area, head for higher ground and stay there. Stay away from floodwaters. If you come upon a flowing stream where water is above your ankles, stop and go another direction. Surprisingly, 6 inches of swiftly moving water can sweep you off your feet. And if you come upon a flooded road while driving, also turn around and go another way. Most cars can be swept away by less than 2 feet of moving water. And be sure to keep children out of the flood water. They are very curious, but often lack judgment about running water or contaminated water. And be especially cautious at night when it's harder to recognize the flood danger. Because standard homeowners insurance doesn't cover flooding, it's important to have protection from the floods associated with hurricanes, tropical storms, heavy rains, and other conditions that impact the United States. Winter emergencies on the road and in the home. Prepare even just a basic car kit, which includes a blanket, extra gloves, socks, change of clothes, hand and feet warmers, and also non-clumping kitty litter for adding that traction to your tires in the snow, and an extra cell phone charger. In the home, make sure your heat source is maintained and any chimneys cleaned every year. If you leave the home for an extended period of time, be sure to leave the heat on, but no lower than 55 degrees. Be sure to have emergency telephone numbers displayed at home and teach children how to call for help. Once again, cell phones, computers, and electricity are not always working or working well during an emergency. Here you'll find a few of the Capital Blue Cross resources, including the Case Management Program. Sometimes it takes a team to manage your health. The Capital Case Management team is on standby to help you with any complex medical needs. Additionally, I encourage you to create your secure member account at capbluecross.com and gain access to your member resources like the HealthWise Knowledge Base. You can access the knowledge base through your CBC member account after logging on and going to the Wellness section. And in there you can search thousands of topics and use tools to help you make more informed decisions about your health care. The Nurse Line, as well as the Nurse Chat, get health questions answered 24/7. Questions about your health can come up at any time, day or night. So with Nurse Line, you pick up the phone and talk to a registered nurse, or with the chat, you can log on to your secure member account and start that chat session right away. And then Blue 365 offers health and wellness deals exclusive to you as a Capital member. Blue 365 offers discounts on fitness, personal care, healthy eating, financial health, lifestyle, and wellness, and many more. And then My Care Finder. You can search for doctors, specialists, facilities, get treatment cost estimates, and find treatment timelines. Listed here are just a few apps that you may find helpful. Capital Blue Cross does not endorse these apps, and these are simply additional resources that you can browse on your own. One's from FEMA, the American Red Cross, and the ICE Medical Standard app. Simply search for any of these or look for others in your device's app store. Thank you for viewing this presentation, and stay safe out there.